So
So here, assessing upon the loss of the content of the defect. Here, if so, in case there is no bone loss, I would like to opt for my first choice would be.
do you think there will
Uh,
be bone loss looking at the X-ray?
so yes, there may be bone loss. So
So
there
if
may
there
be
is a
bone.
bone loss, then what?
Sir, at the second dressing that I have opened at the first dressing that I have opened the wound, uh, uh, I would also assess for the viability of the bone, and if it requires debridement, a redebridement will have to be done of the wound, and depending upon the bone defect that is present, if it is less than 5 to 6 centimeters, uh, uh, I would opt for uh, a Mascali technique along with the soft tissue cover of the defect. That is, and after debridement of the bone, antibiotic impregnated bone cement would be filled in the bone defect, and a soft tissue cover would be provided over the bone.
So you would like to do a stage reconstruction here or a single stage cover?
So it would require
Suppose there
stage.
is how much bony defect you expect looking at the X-ray?
Uh, so the bony defect will be approximately.
You think that there will be a bone gap here after the debridement and fixator is put? What has happened here to the bone?
So
You can
the
see an
anterior.
overlap, no?
Yes, sir.
So
There is.
when you give traction before putting a fixator in place, that overlap
Yes,
will
sir.
get corrected.
Yes, sir, but also the anterior end of the bone, which was jutting out,
Mhm.
uh, if there is a cortical breach, then it may require debridement.
So let us consider as two scenarios. One where the bone there is no, or let us say if you think that there is going to be a bony loss, then let us say the bony loss I don't think is going to be more than 2 to 3 centimeters here.
Yes, sir.
So in that case, what will you do? You want to put antigrated and antibiotic impregnated cement beads, weight. How
Sir,
how how much delay you would do in soft tissue reconstruction then?
I can put the antibiotic impregnated beads along with soft tissue cover of the wound in the same setting. I would prefer for a inferiorly based uh,
No, no.
perforator
Tell me,
plus.
no. That we will come to later. Why
So
do you
for
want
the
to put an antibiotic impregnated beads here? In this case, this is a fresh case. You have opened on day one. You have done debridement. You have put a vac cover to prevent any contamination from outside, and then you have taken the patient back to theater on day 3 or day 4. You open the wound. The bone looks all right. Whatever, say, let us assume that there is a gap of about say 2 centimeters in the bone. That obviously you will come to know on day one itself when the fixator is being put.
yes,
So
sir.
for a small gap of about less than an inch in the bone, what is the thing that is done? You keep
Sir,
the bone gap as intact as it is. I mean, or you do something.
so we can provide a corticocancellous bone graft for the same.
Primary.
Uh, Sir, after the Mascali technique and after the antibiotic beads are removed, which will be done after a course of 6 to 8 weeks.
No, but what is the logic of putting antibiotic beads here? Is the wound infected?
Uh, Sir, though we
Is
have
the bone
debrided,
infected already? Our bone is non-viable. Our surrounding soft tissue is infected. This is a fresh case, no?
yes, sir.
So any simple thing to just to minimize the bone gap you can do.
Uh, Sir, corticocancellous bone graft or bone marrow aspirate that can be put in the bone gap. of
Have
very
you heard
small.
about word docking?
Yes, sir.
So with a small 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter bone gap, they can just dock the two ends of the tibia together, and that much of shortening is acceptable.
Yes, sir. So 2
So why do
centimeter
you
of
want to put a bone graft, which is again going to be a non-vascularized bone graft? There is no soft tissue cover on the wound, and you want to put a non-vascularized bone graft. How is it going to survive?
So my plan was, as I said, sir, to cover it in the same setting with the soft tissue cover, sir, along with the management of the bone gap itself.
See, when it is a fresh case, the wound is not yet infected. You have opened the wound in, you are dealing with the wound within 3 to 5 days of the trauma. There is hardly any infection in the wound. Whatever contamination is there, you just do a thorough debridement, because this is
Yes,
very important. The debridement has to be very thorough and very
yes,
precise. You remove whatever is devascularized, whatever appears non-viable, you just remove everything, give a good wound wash, and always remember, debridement has to be done by the senior most person in the unit, and it has to be done only once. There is no justification for doing debridement 3 times, 4 times. That means you have not done your first debridement correct.
yes, sir.
Debridement has to be thorough and has to be done properly. Then you will not leave it. If there is no non-viable tissue left behind at the time of first debridement, there are very less chances that the wound will get infected.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose, let us assume that there is no bony defect now.
Yes, sir. Sir, when there is no bony defect
So
and
they have achieved a good alignment of tibia bones. They have fixed and stabilized the fracture, and the stabilization is rigid with external fixator.
yes, sir. So for the soft tissue cover, my first choice would be perforator based, uh, inferiorly based faciocutaneous flap, transposition flap, sir. Peroneal perforator based.
Eronial perforator based transposition flap.
Yes,
From where?
yes, sir.
From the
So,
anterolateral aspect of the leg. Have you
the
drawn a
lateral,
picture? Have you drawn a picture on a paper?
side drew the picture of the flap, sir.
Okay. So let us have a look at that.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, shall I explain the flap?
Yeah, please.
Sir, the defect is the one which I've marked in red, and I have
I
tried to read.
can't see your image. How can I see that image?
Uh, so I'm presenting it, so
I can't see your image. Anything specific that I have to do?
mm, so are you able to see it now?
No, I'm not able to see.
Dr. Shravan?
Yeah, I can see it on this screen, so it's I think
I think
so
I'm
you
getting
need,
screen. Uh,
Rutuja, you can I think you can stop the presentation and share again.
Okay, sir.
I can see the defect picture now, but
Sir, I'm just
yeah,
posting the
okay.
photo.
Slides are going ahead. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you want to do a perforator plus distally based transposition flap from the lateral side.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, here I have triangulated the defect
Mhm.
and opposite to the base of the triangle, which is AB. I have drawn a parallel line which forms the base of the flap. This line CD is AB plus 15% of AB, and parallel to another, the adjacent side of the triangle has been drawn to base the flap as such. A pivot point is the pivot point in this case is D, and the distance from D to B is just extrapolated going above the triangle in a circle. So the place where the circle intersects the parallel lines forms our a transposition flap. The red line that we see below is a perforator.
So why do you call this as a
So,
perforator plus flap?
so because
Why not normal? This is, I would say, distally based transposition flap on the lateral side.
sir, a distally based transposition flap would account to a random pattern flap whose dimensions I can take in the ratio of 1:1. If I base it on a perforator, the flap has the advantage of better vascularity, and the length of the flap can be increased to match the breadth.
So at
Maybe
what level you will see you are likely to find a perforator from the lateral malleolus?
so approximately 4 centimeters above it.
Okay. So 4 centimeters above, 4 to 5 centimeters above the lateral malleolus. Okay, and your inferior edge of the defect is about, we said, 10 centimeters from the malleolus.
Yes, sir.
So that leaves you only with 5 centimeters.
So I considered that the
And you are
defect.
talking about your width of the flap is 10 centimeters after the bipedal flap is transposed medially. 8 or
So
9 centimeters width we are talking about. So you have to take that much width of the flap. So that is what I said is you have to describe how much circumference of the leg is contributed by the defect. You're getting my point.
Yes,
Don't make big hue and cry. Leave
it
it.
would be.
So to get a 10 centimeter wide skin to cover this defect, you will probably have to go on the posterior aspect of the calf, right?
For the flap, yes, it would go over the
So you are
posterior.
taking on the lateral side. You are basing the flap on the lateral side.
Yes,
What do you
sir.
call
Yes,
See, you have to have a flap width of 10 centimeters, correct?
yes, sir.
So do you have 10 centimeters on this based on the perforator on the lateral side near the ankle? Can you get a 10 centimeter wide skin?
Sir, no, sir. Sir, so I
We are
considered
talking,
that.
see, we are talking about the lower third of the leg.
Yes, sir. So the base can be narrowed down if it is based on a perforator.
No, we are not talking about the base, but the width of the defect itself is 10 centimeters, no? The base
Yes,
can
sir.
be narrowed down is okay, but you have to have a 10 centimeter wide flap at apex of the flap so that it will cover the defect, no?
Yes, sir.
So do you have that much skin around there?
So I would need to plan it on a patient and see. Most likely it would it appears borderline, so to cover the defect.
So then any other option you can do?
So my
Middle
other
third 10
option,
centimeter defect, yeah.
so it would be a muscle flap cover, soleus flap cover with STSG, sir.
Okay, so you can do a, whether the soleus will be proximally based soleus or a distally based soleus flap.
So proximally based soleal flap.
Proximally based soleus flap.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
So other management options.
No, any other local flap?
So proximal sural artery flap can be based, or a regional flap in the form of cross-leg flap. Or
Can you
reverse
do a distally based sural?
Yes, a reverse sural artery flap can also be planned on
That's
this.
the simplest one, no? Distally based sural flap.
Yes, sir.
You are taking skin from the back of the calf, which is a totally virgin skin. It is not involved in any of the defects.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So reverse sural artery flap can be planned in this case.
So
Yes,
let
sir.
us assume that there is a, okay, these are the local middle third options. Suppose another option, if the middle third defect is a longitudinal defect exposing the entire shin of tibia. So let us assume that you said 10 centimeter wide defect after debridement, fixation and everything, the defect becomes narrowed, and let us assume that the defect comes as a, it is just the shin of the tibia which is exposed, the rest of the thing is all covered muscle and everything. Any other thing you can try locally?
Sir, if muscle is intact, we can also go
You
for
mark the incision there. If you take that incision, whatever you have marked, anything you can do?
So gastrosoleus flap, gastrocnemius flap.
No, can you do a fasciocutaneous
But
bipedal flap? Just a kind of
yes, sir.
slide, transposition
Yes,
slide.
Yes, sir. If only shin of
Put a
tibia.
graft on the calf defect. If it's a narrow longitudinal defect of the tibia that I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Any other local muscle flap? Again, a longitudinal defect.
Sir, proximal sural artery based flap.
Have you heard about tibialis anterior muscle flaps? Pre-tibialis anterior?
Yes, sir. Tibialis anterior muscle flap would then need to be also covered by skin graft.
Yes. So is it a wise idea to do a muscle flap, you said soleus flap, and put a skin graft there, or do a flap which has got a skin with it? In this case?
So there are two schools of thought, sir. In our institute, we prefer giving the fasciocutaneous flap cover as and when possible.
Why?
Sir, the pros of the fasciocutaneous flap being that it happens to give a better contour, and for later bony reconstruction if required, the flap incision and exploration is easier. The pros of muscle flaps are the muscle covering the defective bone segment provides ample blood supply and decreases the chances of osteomyelitis, helps in better healing of bone. Uh, Fasciocutaneous flap would be thinner as it is applied. However, muscle flap is bulky and it also has a skin graft covering over it. Though it is bulky, sir, gradually it atrophies down.
So what is the disadvantage of doing a muscle flap?
Sir, it also we are also using or sacrificing another donor site in the form of taking for a graft. There may be graft loss at times, which, however, it is less as muscle provides a good bed for graft uptake. And it is bulky.
Anything else?
Mhm.
See, there is a compound fracture there.
Yes, sir. Sir, it would impinge on the cut ends of the bone and will hamper the healing of the bone, may result in non-union.
No, yeah. So that may not happen. I mean, there it may not impinge on the ends of the bone because you will achieve a rigid fixation of the bone. But in case this bone fracture goes into non-union, and secondarily you have to go in to put a bone graft to achieve healing, then
Yes,
whether
sir.
muscle flap is better or a fasciocutaneous flap is better, because you have to go in again, you have to make an incision, expose the bone. So you will be actually cutting through the skin graft.
Yes, sir. So fasciocutaneous flap was better
Fasciocutaneous
in
flap is better in that case as compared to the muscle flap, because you on muscle flap you are going through the skin graft again, and you have to suture the skin graft.
yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose there is we say in this case that there is a complete deglowing, internal deglowing of the calf skin, and the intervening bridge is appears non-viable when you take the patient second time for the first dressing of the VAC, and you have to debride that defect, and it becomes a big defect, almost involving half of the circumference of the leg,
Yes, sir.
with an exposed bone and a fracture site. So then what are the options?
Sir, degloving injury of the calf, sir, and necrosed skin bridge. So the
Yes.
necrosed skin bridge would have
No,
to
no,
be
see, there is a necroskin bridge. The surrounding calf skin is internally deglowed, but it appears viable. The skin bridge is not viable. Skin bridge has to be debrided.
yes,
So then
sir.
your medial defect and this oblique defect becomes a one defect only.
Yes, sir.
So it becomes a bigger defect now.
So in such cases, without bone loss, I would,
Yes.
sir, after debridement, I would also prefer for a free tissue transfer in this case from the
Okay.
opposite limb, preferably anterolateral thigh flap, a fasciocutaneous centrolateral thigh flap to cover the defect.
Okay. And where will you anastomose?
Sir, I would prefer for posterior tibial artery vessels for the anastomosis of the ALT pedicle.
So where, in the upper third of the leg?
Upper third of the leg, sir.
So how will you approach that?
Sir, I would extend the incision upwards, sir, from the wound defect. And
Whether you do an end-to-side anastomosis or side-to-side anastomosis?
so I would prefer an end-to-side anastomosis, sir, because as the limb is already traumatized, doing an end-to-end anastomosis may hamper the vascularity of the limb, though other vessels are intact. So end-to-side anastomosis.
Okay, and which veins you will use?
So any comitantus of the posterior tibial artery.
So both veins will be anastomosed to vena comitatus of the posterior tibial artery.
Yes, sir. I think so, sir.
Is that is how it is done? Or you will prefer a superficial system for one vein and deep system for another?
Sorry.
You find a
Sir.
stephanous vein at the elbow level, I mean at the knee level, no?
Yes, sir.
Good nice stephanous vein, good diameter.
Yes, sir.
He's a young boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and the donor side you will be able to close primarily, or you'll have to put a graft?
So here our defect is amounting to almost 10 by 10
How
centimeter.
much width of the flap you can close primarily on the thigh?
So 7 to 8 centimeters of
I think
ALT.
that's- You can close more than that.
Sir,
You can easily close up to 10 centimeter width.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. The donor side would be primarily closed.
Why would you like to go to the other thigh to harvest ALT? Can you harvest ALT from the same thigh?
Sir, in this case, the thigh is already in there already appears to be a neck of femur fracture, sir. I do not want to harvest an ALT from the same side.
Suppose there is no neck of femur fracture, and if the femur is intact, can you do it from the same limb?
Sir, no, I would prefer the other virgin limb, sir, for the harvest of the free flap. A non-traumatic, sir, which does not have history of trauma, the limb. Or I also do not want to hamper the vascular supply of the already damaged limb.
Okay. Any other questions Madam wants to ask?
Sir, you
Yes,
wanted to understand. I have one question for you.
yes,
The recipient vessel, you told posterior tibial in the upper part of the leg. How will you approach
yes.
it? Is very deep, no?
Uh,
Which one
yes,
is
ma'am.
preferable?
Ma'am, anterior tibial, if it is,
You want to anastomose, it can do it to the anterior tibial away from the trauma zone in the upper
yes,
part. And
yes,
if you want to anastomose to the posterior tibial, you have to select in the lower part, isn't it?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Approaching the posterior tibial in the upper 1/3 of the leg it's very deep seated.
Deep seated, isn't it?
You have to dissect you have to reflect the gastrocnemius to find it first.
Yes, sir.
And
Okay.
then the muscle might just compress your pedicle,
Yeah.
especially when you want to do an end-to-side anastomosis.
Yes, sir.
So you're not
Always
getting the vessel
posterior
out.
tibial,
Yes, sir.
okay, in the
Yes,
lower
ma'am.
third. It will not
Yes,
be done at the upper third. And anterior tibial, you can do lower or upper third depending on where the trauma zone you have to exclude and do it. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
In this case, it should be upper third.
Yes, ma'am.
Anterior tibial. Okay. Excuse me, sir. I have a question. Yes. Rutu,
Yes,
Please, ma'am.
yeah, what do you wanted to do that floating segment of fibula? Middle segment is floating, no? And projecting outside.
yes,
Fibula?
ma'am.
Yes. In X-ray.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just opening the X-ray.
Yes.
Ma'am, here, the floating segment of the fibula, it can undergo nailing in consultation with the orthopedician colleague.
Yeah. Or do you want to remove it? Or fibula has no major role in ankle or in the knee joint. We can also remove it if it is not having a artery, fibular artery or any no vascular communication. We can
Yes,
remove it also, no?
yes, ma'am.
If it is coming in the way of a bipedical flap or something else projecting out.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. There's like that in the free flap, the anterior tibial artery may be a better choice than the posterior tibial artery, as per our opinion. And the rest of the things, sir, everything is very much discussed nicely. Sir?
Ji.
Parag sir was very nice.
Yeah, fine. We can go to the
Next case, short cases.
Yeah, Sandeep, you want to add anything?
No, sir. No, sir. I think she has done a good job.
Another flap.
She has presented very well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Parag sir.
Yes, sir.
Parag sir, good evening. Dr. Radhakrishnan here. Sorry, there was some problem with my laptop and other things. It was a very nice discussion. It was flowing like anything. But only thing is the masculates concept. I mean, I do not also, I mean, vouch for it, because once you can debride and then cover the bone, that would be a better option.
Yeah, especially in this case is a fresh case. You can cover the defect at the time you open the VAC. If everything looks good, why there is no need to put bone cement and I mean impregnated antibiotic impregnation. That is for chronic cases where already infection has set in.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that also, I mean, if you earlier the better. Actually, there are papers which say that up to 7 days earlier, if you do within 7 days any flap cover or provide blood supply, that will help the fragment also to be better nourished by the blood supply. Yeah. That is always. We can move to the next case, sir.